Envisage a city where rich history meets contemporary elegance. Packing a punch with its mesmerising blend of stunning architecture, lush green spaces, vibrant waterfronts, a charming old town and world-class museums, this effortlessly cool European capital will entice and charm you with its laid-back lifestyle. This is the Swedish capital. This is Stockholm. Stockholm is located on the east coast of Sweden and is spread over 14 islands on an extensive Baltic Sea archipelago. Not only is it the Swedish capital, but it's also the largest city in the Nordic countries, with 2.5 million people living in its metropolitan area. Stockholm's really well connected with international train services departing to Oslo, Copenhagen and beyond, all of which depart from Central Station, which acts as a hub for the city. Stockholm offers a large ferry network across the Baltic Sea to Helsinki and Turku in Finland, Tallinn in Estonia and Riga in Latvia. Most international travellers to Stockholm arrive at Arlanda Airport, some 23 miles north of the city. The smaller airport, Stockholm-Bromma, largely serves domestic and a handful of international flights. From Arlanda Airport, the quickest way to reach Stockholm city centre is the Arlanda Express, which will have you at Central Station in just 20 minutes for a one-way fee of 320 Swedish krona. Stockholm is really easy to get around. It's flat, so walking and cycling are great ways to see the city. Stockholm has a fantastic public transport system made up of suburban trains, buses, trams, metro and ferries, most of which meet up at Central Station, making many of the city's different neighbourhoods, sites, museums and attractions really easily accessible. I found the metro to be easy to navigate, super clean and found the unique artwork, sculptures and designs on the platforms and concourses really quirky. It's known as the world's longest art gallery. A single public transport ticket, valid for 75 minutes, costs 39 Swedish krona, but for weekend visitors, you might want to choose a 72-hour pass for 330 krona, depending on how much you plan on using public transport. As a city, there's no right or wrong time to visit, but summer really is perfect. It's a time when the city parks, outdoor bars and the waterfront comes to life, and the countryside and islands of the nearby archipelago can also be enjoyed. Visit between June and August for temperatures that can reach their mid to high 20s, and you'll also get a whopping 18 hours of daylight in June. So much so that at night it doesn't really get dark and the sky turns this beautiful deep dusky blue. I visited in June and the weather was perfect, but always packed for the possibility of rain. Winters are on the flip side, with only around 6 hours of daylight in the pits of December and January. Temperatures tend to hover around freezing, but dipping into the minuses along with snow is common from December through March. Stockholm's got several Christmas markets throughout the city, so I'm sure that in winter there's a real cosy festive vibe to the place. Just be sure to wrap up warm. As it's a very green city, spring and autumn with the changing colours and more temperate weather can be ideal for sightseeing and museums. If you want my verdict though, if you're thinking of coming here, definitely come in the summer. When the sun's out, the temperature's rising, the streets are alive. It's absolutely incredible. Love Stockholm. The Gamla Stan is Stockholm's old town. Dating back to the 13th century, it's a mishmash of medieval buildings, alleyways and cobbled streets, all intertwined amongst the royal palace and several churches. These lanes and alleyways host many of Stockholm's sites, including the Stockholm Cathedral, the Nobel Prize Museum, Riddarholm Church and the beautifully Baroque Royal Palace. Here, you'll also find plenty of cafes, bars and restaurants too. The Gamla Stan is served by the red and green metro lines, as well as commuter ferries to Djurgården, where a lot of museums and Gröna Lund theme park are situated. Right, let's explore. My exploration of the old town started at Riddarholm Church, one of Stockholm's oldest buildings and the burial ground for Sweden's monarchs from 1632 until 1950. From here it was a short walk up to the Royal Palace. Completed in 1760, the grounds are free to wander around, as is the Royal Chapel with its stunning decorated ceiling, but tickets to go inside and guided palace tours are also available. There's limited numbers though, so be sure to book through the official website. From the Royal Palace, it was a walk along the waterfront to take in the Swedish Parliament and the Opera House on Gustav Adolphus Square, before making my way back into the thick of it, ending at Stortinget and the Nobel Prize Museum. If you enjoy these travel guides and vlogs, feel free to hit the like button or subscribe, especially if you want to see more videos from my Scandinavian adventure. Now, all that sightseeing is bound to work up a thirst. I'd heard horror stories of people paying £8 or £9 for a beer in Stockholm. I'm not quite sure where these people were drinking, but I'm happy to report that's simply not the case, and I was paying roughly between £5 and £6, even in the old town, which is no different to the prices in most British cities. Stockholm is more expensive when compared with other popular European city breaks like Prague, Budapest or Krakow, but I didn't find it any more expensive than home in terms of eating out and drinking. I found the local stuff to be a really good drink, and the pubs and bars all had a great atmosphere, especially when live music was put on. It's easy to get carried away though on summer nights in Stockholm. Because it doesn't really get dark, you can lose track of time, and before you know it, it's the early hours and the sun's coming back up. And we've woken up to a cooler day, a bit drizzly, a bit damp, but it's a lot nicer than yesterday's near 30-degree scorcher. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a bit hungover this morning, so what better way than spending a hangover morning kayaking the city's canals. Wish me luck. Obviously I got a bit carried away the night before. Who can blame me though when a garage band of middle-aged men are covering ABBA classics? There's nothing like a morning on the water though to blow the cobwebs off. I booked a 2-hour Stockholm city kayaking tour through Airbnb for £45. Run by a company called Stockholm Adventures, Their small dock was close to Central Station by a canal in Kungsholmen and was really easy to find. After a quick demo, geared up and some safety tips, we were off. I absolutely loved this experience because it gave a completely different perspective of the city. I'd never kayaked before, but I found it pretty easy, although after a couple of hours it really does become a bit of an upper body workout. The tour took us down the canals, giving us a great view of the City Hall and Gamla Stan. Kayaking under the bridge and coming back out with the City Hall in full view was spectacular. I just wish my GoPro had caught that properly. There was something incredibly relaxing about kayaking, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. My dad's a bit camera shy, but he cracked a smile and a laugh for the camera here.
You're right, Dad.
It was just a fun experience all around. Crossing from the harbour into the canals, it was a gentle, leisurely paddle back to the dock. Kayaking was really good fun, but the sun has gone and the rain is here. Oh, it's a bit wet. It didn't just rain, it absolutely poured, but thankfully it doesn't rain in pubs, and with all that paddling we'd worked up a bit of an appetite. Finding a little backstreet pub, there was only one thing that could satisfy our hunger, and it was these Swedish meatballs, dished up with mash, pickles and lingonberries. It was absolutely delicious, and it truly hit the spot. I'm really happy right now. Really happy. The rain has passed, my hangover's passed. So let's go see some museums. You'll find a lot of Stockholm's museums at Djurgården, an island located in Stockholm harbour. It's a couple of kilometres from the city centre, but you can catch tram number 7 from Central Station or ferry line 82 from Slussen Dock in the Gamla Stan. Djurgården has some of Stockholm's most famous museums and attractions, including the Grönalund theme park, Skansen, which is an open-air history museum, the ABBA Museum dedicated to Sweden's most famous musical export, the Viking Museum, and, easily the best of the bunch, the Vasa Museum. The Vasa Museum displays the unbelievably well-preserved 17th century warship Vasa, which sank on her maiden voyage in Stockholm harbour in 1628. Salvaged in 1961, the museum opened in 1990 after decades were spent preserving her. The museum brings her history to life and tells the story of her construction, design, ill-fated voyage and her crew and passengers. Tickets cost 190 Swedish krona in summer, but 170 in winter, and there's an audio guide that you can listen to on your phone, so bring your headphones. Fascinating and engaging, Vasa Museum is everything that a museum should be. It was the perfect way to end my trip to this lovely European capital. And that's a wrap on Stockholm. I absolutely loved my time in Stockholm. It's such a beautiful city. I hope this video has given you some guidance and information on getting around and a flavour of what there is to see and do here. If you've enjoyed it, please drop me a like and let me know in the comments if you're planning a trip to Stockholm soon. This trip to Stockholm was just part of a larger adventure I took through Sweden and Norway, so if you want to see what I get up to on that trip, hit the subscribe button for more. It was just time for one last look at Stockholm before sailing off into the Baltic Sea, heading for the archipelago. Sad to be leaving the city, but excited for what lies ahead in the archipelago. Thanks for watching.